Hello, everybody. My name's Milan Starcic. Welcome to Freedom Rising, a podcast dedicated to empowering individuals on the journey to personal growth, lasting serenity, and freedom from addiction. Tune in and join the movement. Your journey to freedom starts here. We neither represent, promote, or demote any 12-step program or organization. We are merely souls on the path of recovery with the desire to expand our lives and experiences and share them with you. Hello, everybody.
What's going on, guys?
Welcome to the 67th Recovery Freedom Rising podcast. I'm Milan Starcic with co-host Andrew Norman. Today's topic is perseverance. Can you share what this means to you, Andrew, and why you picked this topic to discuss today?
I would absolutely love to. Good to see 67 already.
I know. I think we're going to hit 100 by June, is my estimate.
You know, when we started kind of doing this thing, you never know where it's going to go, right? And man, this has been really special. This has been really special. That 100th episode, we're going to have to do something really, really cool.
No, I was thinking we should have like an actual big meeting with almost all the hosts who've ever come on.
Can we do a breakout room and talk about it right now? Because I want to talk about this right now. That sounds amazing. I think we should get a good group and then just come in here and
massive do like a panel and just be like, you're one takeaway from coming out on this.
It'll be actually, the hair standing up on my body.
I got goosebumps too. Oh my God, and not only that, dude, we just topped 2,800 downloads.
Wow. That's special, man. In how many days?
Well, I mean, I think right now we're sitting at just like 4 months or something like that.
Bro, is that the blessings of recovery, right? We're on here getting ourselves better. And then, you know what? It might be helping a few other people. I'm sitting in my meetings and I have people that start talking. They just talk about the podcast because it's getting around. And look, I'm not out there going, man, I'm in a podcast. This is not about that.
I would like to say one thing is thank you to everybody who's listened because, we're really just trying to share something that has fundamentally changed our lives.
Yeah, man.
And thank you for tuning in, or thank you for telling someone who needed some help or somebody to sit through a day with and learn about some recovery.
Like genuinely thank you for listening and just being a part of this. We wouldn't be able to do this if y'all weren't listening. There, we don't have anybody to talk to. Why are we here? And so thank you from the bottom of our hearts, because we put a lot of time and effort into this. We're all busy people. Our guests are Milan. We all have our own lives, and so this is really special for us to be able to do this and be on a platform to be able to put this out there for somebody that might be able to need a little bit of help or whatever it is, whatever you're using this as.
This is part of my medicine.
This is part of my medicine too. It's part of my, it's been part of my recovery ever since we started it.
Vitamin R.
Love it. So perseverance, man. Mm-hmm. Let's get on with the perseverance. I'm going to just read the definition. Perseverance is doing something despite difficulty or delay in achieving success. So there's a lot that goes into that, right? There's a lot of effort. There's a lot of effort that we got to put into doing something and keep doing it to the end, even if it's hard, and whatever you're doing, man. And I think one of the most hardest things that we can do, Milan, is to come out of active addiction, right? That courageous act that we take at the beginning to go, man, I'm a fucking addict and I got to change. And what were the factors that got us there? How do we get to that point where we can even understand this word or understand the action before the word, right? When the road gets a little rough, what are we gonna do? What are we gonna rely on to get us through when the road gets a little tough, man? And in active addiction, we use drugs. I mean, you're not gonna ask me what I'm gonna use. I've been using it on the way in. I'm gonna use it on the way out. I just need more. I need more. And stacking so now more. Use and stacked, right? You just use more to be able to numb that other layer of anxiety that comes in on top of that layer to numb it layer. And so that creates chaos in our minds, right? It doesn't allow us to persevere for shit. We think we are. It's kind of like a false perseverance. Yeah, I mean, we got our drugs and we feel better. No. And so it's a crucial element, man. It's a crucial element in everyone's recovery process. It signifies like an unwavering determination, right? You need commitment. It shows commitment to maintaining a life void of substances. you know, and to, to stay clean long term. That's what we're looking for, Milan. We're not trying to come in here and like bounce in and out. We have made a commitment to ourselves, and to our higher power, who I choose to call God. And we know that if we do that and we maintain that commitment with perseverance, right? You got to have some perseverance to maintain that commitment long term. It takes a lot of perseverance. It takes a lot of gritty times, man. As we get clean, it's a fact that we feel, but feelings aren't facts, man. But we think they are. In the time. So there's a process to be able to filter that. It involves maintaining a commitment to yourself, to your goals. And when progress feels a little difficult, little slow, um, slow at best sometimes. It's how you kind of push through that stuff, man. So that kind of pushes in that a bigger discussion for you and I. So what does that mean to you, Bo? And
Well,
I fucking love you. I fucking love you, man.
I
I
love
love
you
you
too,
so much.
brother.
Like more than anything, I really, I genuinely appreciate you and love you as a person, man. And we go through a lot of things as we grow in this process, man. And I really want to just tell you how much I appreciate you being a part of my life and a part of my recovery, in spite of what the hell is going on. I mean, you and I have always been able to be straight up with each other, man. And I really, really, I need people like you in my life, and I love you.
I likewise appreciate you and appreciate the fact that when I need to talk to you about something for our relationship to grow, that you've come to it with an open mind and a willingness to maintain our relationship, even if it means change. That's just something that I can have great respect for you about, man.
Love you.
And so I went a little deep. I went to like the root of the word perseverance, right?
I knew
And
you would.
that word comes from two other words, per for very, and severus for strict, very strict. So today the connotation of the word is to persist in a methodical way despite obstacles or distractions, which immediately lends my thought to the word discipline. And um we might not like doing something over and failing like that really can feel disheartening and shitty at some points. But so did the destruction of my life through my addiction. You know, for myself, I was a really smart, hyper little kid. And so for school, it wasn't until university that I actually had to work for a mark. I relied on an extremely good memory and a very logical brain. And when I was 19 and about two-thirds, three-quarters through my first year university, I woke up one day. I went down to breakfast. I took a spoonful of cereal and it poured down my face. And I didn't know what was going on. And one of my floor mates was like, dude, what's happening? You're like spilling the milk all over your face. And my dad had died of multiple sclerosis. And all of a sudden, I went to the mirror that was down in the bathroom in the cafeteria. And it was like the one side of my face was like, looked really flexed. And what it was actually the other side was going paralyzed, but it looked really, it looked like the flex side was wrong because the other side was mellow. So
How old were you?
I'm 19. So I
Okay.
literally ran out of my building, like literally, like just didn't even go back for my breakfast, ran to the university hospital,
Yes.
was like in a panic thinking I'm dying of MS right now.
Oh my God.
And so I sat there in the merge room and it turned out that the doctor on was an MS specialist. And she was like, no, you don't have MS. You have Bell's palsy. When I'm like, oh, great. Like Bell's palsy, like the only palsy I had heard of was like cerebral palsy, and people are walking with canes and really handicapped.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah, yeah.
so, what Bell's palsy is for anybody out there who doesn't know is that right underneath our ear, we have a nerve that comes out each side and it controls your face. Like if you drew a Sharpie marker down the middle of your face, this nerve controls this side and this nerve controls this side. And essentially, like a cold virus gets inside the nerve passage it swells up on your skull and basically like chokes itself, like if you pinch a garden hose. So none of the signals can get through to your
You
face.
think you're having a stroke?
I thought I was like, I thought it was the start of MS. So she assured me it
Oh my
wasn't MS.
God.
She did a bunch of tests, and it took a month and a half to come back. Actually, I had to leave school because when you die, your eye opens, not closes. So one of my eyes had to cover with like an ointment so it didn't dry out and get
Oh
destroyed.
my
And then I had
God.
to go for like electronic muscle stimulation, like every twice a day,
Never
so
knew
that
this.
my face didn't atrophy. And anyway, though, in that period was when I started to play guitar. And guitar was one of the first. So that big story about Bell's palsy was actually about guitar. but but
That's
um
awesome.
but anyway, when I started to play guitar, it was one of the first things in my life that I had to practice on, that I had to like, I could understand what I had to do, but I had to train my body to do it. And my point to that is that I was lucky enough to fall in love with something that required perseverance in order to gain any skill. And I was not good at rhythm when I started guitar. And it was so many years of practice and perseverance that allowed me to play the way that I can now and have this relationship with my instrument. So coming into recovery, I was able to see that a lot of what I need to go through in this program is going to be a very long and winding road, you know,
Yes.
and without the discipline and perseverance, there's going to be no results that you'll be able to almost quantifiably measure. You know, like you can have substantial breakthroughs in some day, but the actual lasting results of working this program require work, fail, work, fail, work, fail, success, work, fail, work, fail, work, fail, success. And it's just not like you get a carrot for every step you take. It's just not like that. And maybe it is for other people. Sorry, I should say, but for me, the experience has been incremental increase. But I fortunately have a brain that does release endorphins for the very smallest improvement, you know, and I've had the perseverance. I've been very strict with myself, like literally the word very strict. That is my program. I do my
Yeah.
program every day. I'm very strict about that. Even on days or like on the maybe 10 days I haven't done a meeting since I've been clean, I have done my program, you know? Like for me, the meetings are absolutely essential for my peace of mind, for my growth, for my learning, for my building of the community that I need to do. But the essence of my program is learning how to live spiritually inside these principles. And I have been very strict about that. And that's for me, my intro. And I'll let you start the questions if you want, Andrew.
Yeah, man. And I just want to kind of piggyback on what you said. You talked about discipline. That guitar playing was that start of that discipline for you. Discipline and kind of doing something strict, and disciplined is something that, in active addiction, you were fucking disciplined as shit getting your drugs, weren't you? If
Oh,
not, if
you
not,
know it.
if not in a savage beast. Let's not talk about discipline. Let's talk about disciplined and beyond, doing things that are unthinkable to get our fix. If because we feel like we're gonna die if we don't have it.
Mhm.
So there's a lot of reasons why perseverance is important, right? And we're gonna hit on all those things, man. I got a laundry list of things. But one thing is it helps you build a solid foundation. How's perseverance? How have you used perseverance to help build a solid foundation? And what does that kind of look like for you today?
So I know I've been referring to it a lot in the last little while on the podcast, but it's something that is really actually an important thing in my life right now is that there's the Untethered Soul book, and then he writes another book called Living Untethered. But part of what the exploration in the first book is about who you are inside yourself. like, you have your inner dialogue, right? And when you're sitting there talking to yourself, who is it that's saying it and who is it that's hearing it inside there? And one of the things that a lot of us have, most of us, according to him, and I definitely have it. So I can only relate, my experience is that there's a voice inside. Like if I'm at a gym, it's like, oh yeah, you've done enough, you know, or if it's if I'm doing step work, it's like, oh yeah, you could stop now. Like that voice that tells you like to stop before you've completed something.
Hmm.
I'm not sure, I forget exactly what he labeled that voice as, but for me, you know, what it is that if I saw that voice as an external person, that person has been wrong 95% of the time. It said it's bullshit to me. And the problem is that we so often buy that bullshit. And if I can see that voice as bullshit and step away and stop listening to it, it has had monumental changes inside my ability to keep growing. Especially like, first of all, like the most important for me has been exercise. When I am like, don't listen to that fucking voice, finish what you want to do. First of all, I have perseverance at that moment. Second of all, I'm pulling discipline into it. And thirdly, it is actually letting me grow to not listen to that voice. And then another example for me is food. It's like, man, I am fine sitting at home eating healthy food, but my
Yeah.
job requires I drive everywhere. And there's like alleys of fast food where I'm like, just fucking pull over and grab something. Just pull over and grab something. Even if I'm not super hungry, I still can taste that fucking burger. And
Oof.
uh, and and if I'm just like, no, don't listen to that voice, get home. And when I do, I'm so much more healthy feeling, proud of myself, just done the right thing. But it also wraps into like, okay, be of service to someone, even when I'm feeling lazy, like part of my program, do that reading. Make sure you do that. Put some effort into having some good quality parts for the podcast, you know, make sure I'm prepared for that sponsee and not just fucking winging it because I did a good job a couple times ago with that session with him. And then also just like show up to the fucking meetings I say I'm gonna. Because there's times I'm like, fuck, I'm tired. I don't need to, but no, like, like last night, I was almost falling asleep when I went out to a meeting and I almost fell asleep in the meeting, but I still got a whole bunch out of the 45 minutes. I wasn't almost falling asleep in that
And you
meeting.
stayed fucking clean while you were there. You know what I mean?
You know what? I was sitting there and I was just like, holy shit, man. There's two guys who just gave a share. And I was like, man, I needed to be here for those 10 words from each of them. And and so, perseverance is not for me having the intention of having a good program. Perseverance is looking back and being like, my program is fucking solid. And the reason it's solid is because this is life or death for me. Bottom
Yeah.
line.
Yeah.
Bottom line.
Yeah. And it's almost like true perseverance. It's almost like you can't really see it until it's hindsight, right? You can't really see that you persevered through that
Well,
thing.
you
It's like,
can't prove it. Talk is fucking cheap, dude. You
yes,
can't
sir.
prove it till it's done.
No doubt. No doubt. So like, so that, yeah, maintaining that motivation. This is a look, man, ever since your boy Tom said this the other day, this is a program of surrender, not self-improvement.
I've been telling
Bro,
everybody that,
bro,
dude.
I have been look, people look
Best
what
quote we've had on the podcast yet.
straight up. And so what the way I bring it out is like I'll be in the share and I've had a couple people share or ask me to share and I'll go for all you people who like to like write those little golden nuggets down. This is something that's been on my brain for ever since this gentleman came out, and then I'll say it and people like their minds are blown. I look at their reaction when I say it and they go, holy shit. Because look, when this is not a 12 step like self-help or self-coach program here, right? We're not here like if you, there's a lot of that shit out there. You can go listen to audiobooks about people talking about how they got themselves better all day, all night. That is not what we're doing here. We have to surrender our self-will, man. Like it is a constant surrender. This program is, right? Perseverance to surrender every single day, even though you want to continue on. Because look, every morning, look, God wakes me up, right? Look, and I choose to call my God, my higher power, God. And this is how I look at it, man. Is like I wake up every single morning. I thank God, bro. I get on my hands and knees and I thank him so much for giving me my life back every day and for giving me my self-will. And bro, I swear to God, I pray it right back to him, man. I asked him to take my self-will right back because I'm not the best one holding that thing, man. I'm not the one making the best decisions with my self-will. He's doing a lot better job than I have, man. Ever since I've been able to surrender to this program and persevere through all my old habits and behavior to be able to come to a decision that I'm not it has been extremely tough for me. And it's been a layered, long, intensive process, man. You don't just wake up one day and go, all right, man, that's gonna be my guy. And maybe you do. Maybe it works for you. But complete surrender, and knowing that this is not a self-help program, that maintaining that motivation, it's just, perseverance helps individuals stay focused on their recovery goals and help maintain motivation when shit gets rough, man. When things are changing, things feel slow moving, you have got to stay enthusiastic about your approach to this thing, and not like bitter. Don't attach yourself to like past old things and maintain a bitter attitude, because we're not going to get better by being bitter. We're going to get better by being better. You persevere through things. It's how you and it's how you conduct yourself as you do that too, right? Because people are watching, God's watching. And then it allows us to be proud of ourselves, man. It allows us to be proud of ourselves when we navigate setbacks, right? It helps us get back on track, man, after a relapse, right? Or a setback in our program. We might lose a sponsor. A sponsor dumps us, or a sponsee goes back out. That's a little setback for us. We have to persevere through those feelings because we're not using drugs anymore, man. We can't just go put a drug on it and go, all right, man, we're gonna figure it out. We got to persevere through those setbacks, and it builds resilience and strength. The true inner strength that you get when you win those wars that you don't tell anybody about, Milan. Those are special.
I was talking to a friend this morning, telling him about that quote, actually. And I just wanted to add one other thing. I didn't mean to interrupt, but
No,
I just
perfect.
I don't want to forget it
I
because
saw
mine will
you. No,
scroll.
this is
But
perfect.
the thing is if you think about all the benefits in your program, they didn't come from you improving yourself. They came through the strength of your surrender. And I really, it's been a really eye open. It's coming from every direction the last 10 days. About like last week, Chris, oh, how free do you want to be? We say that from Brandy all the time. He says, I believe your freedom is directly proportional to your level of surrender. Like, how many directions can surrender come at us right now without us acknowledging that it is the source of all of our freedom?
We want to talk about love and acceptance, bro. We need to surrender before we're gonna feel any of that shit. If you don't surrender, bro, it don't even start.
Why is it step one? Because it is the first step.
That's why I
Why is
love
it the
this
only
podcast.
step you got to get perfect? Because if you don't have that perfect, you are never, ever going to be able to do the other surrendering that's required.
I'm mind blown. I'm mind blown, man.
Like it's 100%. You know what? Like, we're here to talk about perseverance, but when we do this side tangent right now about surrender, it's because I don't see a more important event inside. Like, you be me. I needed to have that super solid surrender in order to embark on this journey.
Yeah.
And fortunately for me, I was so beaten down that initial surrender, man, it's fueled my recovery fire because it fucking worked.
It kept you alive when you wanted to die. Look, the most courageous
I
thing that we were able to do was was live when we wanted to die, Milan. And
yeah.
and what gave us, something came into us and goes, man, I don't want to fucking die. At that
Mhm.
point where we could go, fuck it.
Oh, because the universe showed me that death really sucks. Actually, okay. Like I mean, I went right there and I was like, "Ooh, no, I'm going back to the other line. I want to go to the lifeline."
It could have showed you a barbecue sandwich in the other line, but it didn't. Right? It
No,
showed you.
it took
It
me
showed.
cold, lonely, dark. Like, how's about
We
feel?
don't play music in this place over here. There's no music going in the background. We don't have a heart. We don't have your
All
heart.
sound gone. All
That's so
sound
funny.
gone.
Yeah, so that's so funny. But yeah, what were we talking about? I that got us off on something else.
Gosh, man, I'm confused as
It's
to where we are.
bro, because look, this surrender piece is everything. Look, we gotta look. I was talking about. I was building on that phrase last night when I was
Hmm.
speaking in my home group. We gotta out surrender this thing.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
gotta out surrender this disease, because if we don't, it's going to catch up to us. It's always going to be there. We're going to die with this disease. We don't want to die because of it. So if you out surrender this thing, we're going to be all right.
Our only chore is to create our vessel to be in the greatest position to surrender possible.
That's it.
And once we do that, all the pain's over,
Bro, I can breathe.
all the suffering's over, all the defects are over, all the shortcomings are over
Let go, let
because
God, man.
we've surrendered. And
Let
it's
go.
just like I really like it was just like, man, Tom just took my brain with a little walnut and cracked that shell. And now it's like I can never unsurrender see again.
I need to put this out in the universe. Thank you, Tom. Thank you,
Yeah.
Tom, down in Salida,
Yeah.
Mexico. We
Yeah.
love you, my man, because you have changed all of our rooms and our perspective circles immediately when you put that in my head. So thank you. Leaves in the pool problems, right?
Yeah.
Love that guy,
Leaves
man.
in the pool. Yeah, I
I
know.
got dude,
He's awesome, dude. I
bro.
knew he
I've
was
never
gonna be.
heard of it said that. Cadillac problems are leaves in the
Oh,
pool problems, man. Come on,
yeah.
man.
Yeah.
I will definitely go through the pain of scooping out those couple leaves so that I can just chill in that pool all day, all day.
Yeah.
Love it,
And,
man.
and some people just cannonball into the pool with the leaves and don't give a shit.
They're like, ew, there's a couple bugs in there. We don't want to get the bugs. That look, is that a live spider? Let's not go there. I don't want to do it. So yeah, that's really cool. That kind of leads in. I guess you can probably got a question now, maybe for us to round robin.
Sure, I do. Okay. What has helped
Hey,
you?
and I love you. I
I
love you,
love
man.
you too. I love you too, man. I truly do. What has helped you persevere in your darkest recovery moments?
The fellowship, leaning on my guys and gals that I put in my house, my new recovery house, right? I talk about that a lot. My quote unquote recovery house that I have built on that strong foundation that we just mentioned too, of love. I've built my foundation on love and humility, and um, from there, it has helped me maintain. Look, people know what to expect out of me today. You know what I mean? It has allowed me to come to the table with patience. I have patience today. And let's see. What was your I had
What
somebody
has
just.
helped you persevere in your darkest recovery moments?
Oh yeah. Yeah. So hearing others' experiences, man, gave me hope, right? That's the whole hope shot that I get, man. I came on here in my darkest times, and I flooded my brain with recovery in one way or another, and I stayed in meetings. I made meetings like a madman, made meetings, and I was able to hear so many stories and so many war stories, but then also so many messages and so many messages of hope. And it kept me alive when I didn't want to live, man. I didn't want to live. I was seeking support. I was seeking support at that point, and I didn't know where I was going to get it. I didn't even know if it was available to me. I just knew that what I felt when I came into these rooms, it felt good. It felt good. I felt good, clean for the first time in my life. Um, and I was able to get out of that denial that don't even notice I am lying. And look, that's a good, your boy, the other gentleman with the acronyms,
Jim.
Jim, don't even notice I'm lying. So we can change the no. So it actually works now. Don't even
Yeah.
notice I am lying. So it actually does work. He said he could be the Olympic swim coach of Egypt. So that's pretty funny. But but look, man, this thing doesn't work by osmosis, by sitting your ass in the seat, right? I had to come on here and be able to set realistic goals. Perseverance has allowed me to set realistic goals in my life, and identify what my true values are today, man. I know what my values are today and what I value in myself. I know what I know what my strengths and weaknesses are today. Um, my foundation is extremely strong, and I know that that house can be blown over, and I can rebuild that house at any time. And then I can also add support networks and roommates to that house as I need. Which this is what we do. This is what we're doing in these rooms, Milan. We meet. How did I meet you? By going to a meeting,
Mhm.
and we hit it off immediately.
It was love at first bite.
It was love at first bite, man. And bro, I love you so much, man. You know, I really don't have much else to say. We'll pass it back and forth. I'll give it back to you on that one. We'll keep it short and sweet on that one, man. I love you.
Love you too. And when I started this program, and I'm gonna tag it back to surrender only in the fact that, I've been really fortunate not to have the compulsion on the squirrel cage going of usage. My surrender for whatever, like maybe just my bottom just fucking bounced me so hard and so scared that my surrender has really been a blessing because as it was real easy. It was real easy to be in a pink cloud while I was in treatment, and coming out of treatment, it was like boom, within 3 hours, there I am fighting with my wife and feeling like shit and fucking jerk face Milan coming to town. Anyway,
Woo!
but like right away though, it's like the proof of me not seeing using as my solution anymore has been like the faith that has come from that surrender in the efficacy of this program to work has carried me through so many moments where I'm like, fuck, like this isn't amazing, or what I've done isn't amazing, or what I've done I'm not proud of and I'm still ashamed of. But I know that change is possible. Because if you had said to me 2 years ago that I could be clean and not craving and not resentful and happy to be not using, man, I would have taken any goddamn bet on that. I would have been
You would
like,
smack somebody in the face for that.
I just wouldn't have believed you. And
Yeah.
and if man, if you went to a bunch of my using friends now and went back 2 years ago, and Milan's going to be recovered. Milan's doing a recovery podcast. Milan believes in the 12 steps and his higher power. Man, you could have made a lot of money off those individuals betting against it. And the reason is because I had no basis for knowing where this could take you.
Yeah.
And the persistence of getting like, I do a gratitude list every morning. I do my readings every morning. And I've had friends and sponsees who relapse who are like, man, I ain't feeling it today. I don't want to do it. I ain't feeling it every day. Like the reality is perseverance, very strict. Like I am doing that shit,
Yeah.
especially when I know I don't want to. There are
Mm-hmm.
so many, like, man, I have a late meeting Monday night, and every Tuesday morning, I'm a tired dick. That's why there's no podcast Tuesday mornings, because you'll be getting tired dick radio. And
We don't like
like
Tire Dig Radio. No.
nobody wants to hear tired dick radio.
Oh no.
But the thing is that it is in those darkest moments that I make sure I'm persevering. And why? What gets me through that the faith that I can get through that, that life is a cycle, that this will pass. Why?
Yes.
Because it's passed every other freaking time in my life, you know? And what seems like the greatest tragedy in the history of mankind really isn't. Really has never been, you know? And when I look back to like some of the things that I've argued or resented or whatever with people, and then I'm like talking to a friend in a wheelchair, and I'm like, man, do I ever know how to complain about nothing? You know, like I was talking about that Bell's palsy. Man, when you've had a paralyzed face and can't say F's or P's for a month and a half and think you're going to go through that for the rest of your life, there's a whole lot of stuff that's really minimal complaints. Like it's leaves in the pool kind of
Leave
shit.
in the pool problems.
Leaves in the pool. And there we
Yeah,
go. I'm
dope.
done that. You got a question now, Andrew?
Yeah. So how has uh how has perseverance helped you cultivate a positive mindset as you got a little clean time under your belt, man?
Gosh, perseverance the only way, not helped me. It's the only way I've cultivated a positive mindset
How have you
because
done that?
that which you focus on becomes greater, right?
Yes.
Like that is the sign that changed my life in the treatment house. And even now I can close my eyes and I see that sign. Like I've implanted that as part. So, like when people say, man, I don't have anything to be grateful for, then dig because that gratitude list, like that which you focus on becomes greater. So even just saying, I'm not grateful, you just said something negative instead of something positive. So if you're not focusing on the positive, that positivity is never going to grow in your life.
Yeah.
And if you're allowing the negativity to be the mainstay and the staple, that's a recipe for disaster for any addict out there.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
there's
Absolutely.
there's a reason why we're trying to grow spiritually because the reality is that if we focus on honesty, we become more honest. If we focus on love, we become more loving. If we focus on condemnation of a program, we're condemning ourselves. And
Oof.
that's it.
You become what you believe, right, Milan? We that and what we focus on becomes reality eventually, right?
Yeah.
Like what I'm speaking on right now, what we speak on is our focus. My words decide my focus, right?
If
Like what we're
every if
everything.
every day we're like, this program is saving our lives, guess what? Every day we've had our life saved. Like,
We're not lying. We're not lying. Look, we are here. We're alive. We are spiritual beings, and we are alive today because of this program. It's saving our lives. Working
mm-hmm.
on this program, right? So, you want me to answer now, or I didn't
Oh
mean to
yeah,
cut
no,
you
no.
off. I didn't mean
I'm
to cut
sorry.
you off, though.
No, I cut you off. I
Okay,
actually
no,
just
yeah,
cut you off.
I'm okay with. Look, and I love you for that, and I'm thank you for that. Cultivating the positive mindset. It helps me practice mindfulness. And then meditation. Mindfulness and meditation, which can help reduce stress, right, and improve mental strength. Which can be beneficial to cultivating any kind of perseverance, right? In any level of perseverance. A positive mindset, comes from within. I don't rely on other people to create my positive mindset today. It goes back to that surrender and prayer, man. How do I continue to stay in that positive mindset as I pray, man? I pray and I surrender. I talk about this a lot where I thank God for giving me my self-will back every single morning. And I pray that shit right back to him, man, because I don't want it. I don't want my self-will. Thank you for giving it back to me and allowing me to wake up when you see fit, God, but and not just stumble into in an abandoned building or something. And I appreciate you for that. But here, take this thing back. Because I'm not it, and I have to let him know I'm not it every day, and I know he's gonna watch after me and what I'm doing. He it allows me to, you know, maintain positive my mindset even when I hit challenges because I'm hitting a lot of challenges as I get cleaner and cleaner. I'm hitting more and more challenges because I'm not getting any younger. We're not getting any younger, Milan, are we? I know, I was talking to you the other day. You were riding to a couple showings late at night, man. You were asked out and you were persevering, bro. you were even going to two showings that you didn't really know the outcome, and you were had one bad thing that had came on you from another one. And I'm like, man, and I was proud of you, man. You gave me hope by showing how you persevered in that time, knowing that you might not even get anything out of it. You're driving an hour and a half to do a showing, because that was you're a man of your word today. It has allowed, it has given you that having perseverance in your life has allowed you to have those qualities in your life, right? To be able to persevere through those things and know in your active addiction, you would have shut down in that situation. There was nothing for you to gain out of that. Look, hey, you're probably not going to get it anyways to drive all that way. Well, no, man, like glass half full today, baby. You know what I mean? Like we're going to look at things positive today in a positive mindset. Not, and I'm going to find the love in that sentence. I'm not going to find the hate in that sentence, man. You know, there's a lot of people that come in here and want to use the language of this fellowship to like hate on themselves. Like it's almost like they use it as a weapon. Have you seen, you've seen that too, haven't you, Milan? Where you see people use the literature as a weapon against themselves almost. And it's pretty unnerving to see, man, because look, you can make yourself miserable or you can make yourself strong. The amount of work is the exact same. I choose the upward trajectory today, man. I choose to make myself strong today. You know, so I get in meetings. I turn my character defects into defects with character. You know, I don't give into the fear. Um, but I pray, man. I stay tapped into him. I pray, more prayer, more peace, more prayer, more open-mindedness, more prayer, more humility, less prayer, less humility, less prayer, less peace, less prayer, less open-mindedness, less prayer, less serenity. And that's my sponsor tells me all the time. He's like, bro, did you pray about it? He goes, you want more peace about it? How free do you want to be? That's where this whole how free do you want to be came from. The movement came from my sponsor when he comes in our meetings and he's like, how free do you want to be? Freedale. So
Frida.
Bumper, we gotta
That
get her
was
on
a
there.
funny episode,
No,
man.
bro, Freedale. Oh my god, man! I was watching that one the other day. I was cracking up, man, cracking up when you did your living amends during that thing to Coulter. While it was just, I mean, and then your laugh when you couldn't hold yourself back from laughing because you were so just, it was so funny. We have fun in recovery, guys. I don't care what you say.
Fun
Uh,
covery.
Fun covery, that's right. So we stay enthusiastic about this thing, man. Cultivating a positive mindset, really, there's a lot that goes into that, man. But you hit on the faith piece, man. I got to be able to take that first step without seeing that first staircase. And the step work are the keys to all of that. You know, you can't have branches in heaven if you don't have firm roots planted in hell. You know, and this is a spiritual, not religious program. Religion is for people who don't want to go to hell, and spirituality is for those of us who have been there maybe several times and don't want to go back. Man, that shit is painful. So I got a positive mindset today, man. You can look at me and tell I got a positive mindset. My boy Tom the other day told me, smile even if you're uncomfortable, even if you're not feeling good, because look, once you smile all day, people are going to see your smile. They're going to think it's genuine. They're going to smile. And then it literally turns your smile into a natural smile. And it changes your day. Changes your day. I don't even
Oh,
know how that went to that, but I love you.
okay, I got a question for you.
Yes.
We learn to persevere through a learning curve. Impatience is a stumbling block. We want to know something, not to learn it. Studying is an exercise in staying focused. Our practice at being teachable is a good start. Has perseverance grown in your sobriety? How or how not?
Well, yeah. Yeah. Naturally, if you're working in recovery and being honest, going into this thing, your perseverance will grow. You really don't have a choice whether to get a little bit of that. And look, everybody's different. Everybody's different. This thing is not as cookie cutter as people make it out to be. You don't have to come in here and do exactly what people are saying. We're just giving suggestions here. We're just giving suggestions. Um, you know, we're setting realistic goals today. You know, and maybe the only realistic goal that we have is just to stay clean just for today. And in the just for today program, man, as long as I can I can stay in a just for today, just now, and not be pissing all over today with my leg, one leg, and yesterday one, and tomorrow, then I'm gonna be okay. Um, Clear, realistic, achievable goals that I can be proud of myself for once I get through, once I persevere. Um, it builds my confidence. I have confidence today. Not that like I'm the shit, but like I can pretty much figure it out. And if I can't, I'm gonna go through the proper thought process to maybe get the right answer, practice some humility, ask for help. And I didn't have that, man. I didn't have that shit in active addiction, man. I didn't know what asking for help was, because I was living in that, I don't know, that underground world, man. The people I'm doing business with, it's all transactional. It was never any of that good feeling shit, man. You see these families running around and living their lives, and I was just an idiot, man. I'm an idiot, but it's a disease. It's a disease, man. My brain has a disease of disease, right? So I got to live this program. I gotta stay away from those people that are committed to misunderstanding who I am, man, because it's gonna bring me down into that uh, negative mindset, man. Serenity comes when you trade expectations for acceptance, right, Milan?
Boom.
That's it, man. That's it. This is the only disease that has me convinced I don't have it, man. I gotta accept and then act on as if I had willed it that way, man. Because if I can continue to surrender and pray and stay connected, man, I'm not gonna be trying to build up some kind of lack of self-esteem that I think I don't have. Because then I'm a fragile individual, man. If I'm trying to build that self-esteem, I'm fragile. I'm fragile. So I accept myself today. I'm not fragile, man. I'm strong. I'm secure in my self-acceptance. I don't have any kind of I don't make comparisons to myself today, man. I'm not like beating myself up. We talked about it earlier. One side of our brain is selling bullshit, the other side's buying it, man, and it's fucked up. It's fucked up. So I try to relate to myself today, not evaluate myself. Does that make sense, Milan? Like it's
Yep.
a different just for self-evaluation
Mhm.
is different than like being like, man, I know who I am and I'm gonna relate to who I am. And it allows me to be a stronger individual because of it. Yeah, man. Pass it to you, bro.
Okay. So, has my perseverance grown in my sobriety? How or how not? I would say near the end of my addiction, at least the last couple of years, my I was reactionary to life. Like I was basically hanging on by the seat of my pants, making so many mistakes and just reacting to try and clean up my mess almost on a daily basis. And very undisciplined. I mean, I was disciplined in the usage, uh, but I wasn't disciplined in my work, in my play, that's not to say that I wasn't, doing well in either of those things. I was still excelling in them, but my perseverance to follow through with things wasn't there. Like now in my life, I have the why of wanting to A, stay straight, and B, just the mission to learn acceptance and grow inside this program. I was going to have, love and acceptance, but I might have to have surrender and acceptance on my arms
Oh,
now. Like,
bro, I'm
dude,
telling you, it's starting to be this
maybe I put love right in the middle.
but look, no, but you got to have love and acceptance, and then you got surrender, and then you got honesty. I think
Yep.
those are got to be
Yep.
honest with everything, but you got to
Yep.
surrender before you start anything. And you and I are like love and acceptance, so it's like
Yeah.
holy fucking hell, this is my spot.
Yeah.
This is my hamster wheel I want to live in. That's my four.
Yeah.
That's my four corners, man.
Yeah. It absolutely, but I think, like I have the perseverance because it has literally become a life's purpose. Like the meaning of life is to give life meaning, as we met, as our saying. Anybody out there who doesn't know, that was one of the first things I heard out of Andrew's mouth. And I was just like, yeah, bro, I'm into
Can
it.
you sing the ballad real quick? Can you sing about the
The
meaning of
meaning of life
life
is to
is to
give
give
life
life
meaning.
meaning?
This is more than just a
We're not
feeling.
talking shit, guys. This
I
is real.
wake up in all my days.
It's actually a
Um,
really, really dope song. I showed my whole family, and I'm like this, and I'm like in recovery. This is like the shit we get excited about, man.
yeah.
This is the stuff that like normal people get excited about, not on drugs, man. And we can lean into that because why? Because we persevered. Because you
And
persevered, Milan.
but like learning and leaning and having a life's purpose is like it's like the difference between masturbating to porn and making love to someone you love. You know,
Amen, bro. Amen.
like it's just something worthwhile that means something that's special, not just like frivolous action to be like stroking ego.
And there's other people involved. It's not
Yeah.
just you, right? Like when you're masturbating, it's you.
Mm.
When you're making love to somebody, there's other people involved.
It's making a
Love is
difference in the
involved.
world. Well, it's
Love
like
is involved.
that service. Like if you're in this program and you're doing service, you're literally trying to help make the world a better place.
And it's getting you off your own shit.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's how this thing
So I think
works.
that's my answer to that one. I don't even sure if I answered it, and I don't
Hell
even
yeah. That
care.
doesn't that bro, this is starting to get fun now. Where are we at? Is it on
We're
my
at you.
question?
Yeah, you got a question. I got an answer.
Oh yeah, I've got a question for you. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I did. I'm so sorry. So what's been the biggest setback in your recovery process where now looking back at it, you really had to build some of that perseverance, resilience and perseverance to get through? What's been one of the biggest setbacks that you can speak on?
Well, I think probably, my biggest setback is has been not living in a state of surrender or acceptance and allowing that to control how I was perceiving my recovery going. Like basing my recovery on other people's actions inside things and not just actually having that full love and tolerance, that I'm seeking and using that to diminish my own recovery, either through thought or through action. Like putting myself in a bad headspace because of somebody else is a real dangerous weapon because that was exactly what I used as the excuses when I would use. So for me, you know, um, and it's almost like if I look back to before the program, I felt really blind. I look back like I was blind about who I was. But if I look back even 6 months or a year ago from now, still feel like, oh, that was a different level of blindness and a different, like, even this journey into the surrender right now. Like, honestly, Tom saying that blew my mind. I have not been able to stop thinking about that. I even had a dream about it last night. Like, it
This has
was
gone from
nuts.
perseverance to surrender. You know that, right? This
Yeah.
podcast, and I'm loving it.
But yeah, anyway,
I love it.
so I think that's my answer to that. I'm not even sure if I answered, but I've
Yes, you
tried.
did.
I
Yes,
tried.
you did. Yes, you did.
Okay.
No, what was my question? Let me look. Oh, I got it right here. So how was my biggest setback? Yeah.
Yeah.
So my biggest setbacks, man. A lot of people say like relapse is a part of their program or part of their story. I kind of look at it like this. I didn't really start my recovery process until I stopped relapsing. Like I tried on my own. I tried on my own a lot until I found these rooms. But once I found these rooms, man, I haven't gone back out. And but there's been a lot of really hairy times where I woke up and I thought I did, right? Whether it was like that using dream or it was so real, whatever it is. I thought I did. And Bro, I'm an emotional wreck sometimes, man. I'm an emotional wreck. And I can let my emotions get the best of me, right? I refer to this a lot. Like my mind has to run security on my emotions. I got to train my mind to be tougher than those emotions, man, because my emotions will get me every time. They'll get me every single fucking time.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'll open my mouth not knowing what, not knowing how it's going to affect everybody around me early on in recovery, I'll say. And I still do it. But it's being able to come off of those, right? And notice when I'm getting into a headspace where I'm getting ready to say something that I don't mean. It's not coming from a place of love and compassion. Um, One thing about you got to understand, extremely kind, nice, loving people, like the other side of that extremely nice, kind, and loving part of it is just as extreme. Does that make sense?
Mm.
As loving as I am, my detachment and all that other shit game is extremely hard too, man. When I get in that lane, man, I will detach quick, and my love game is strong, but everything
We're people of extremes.
we're people of extremes, addictive personalities. We just had that. We've got that gene. And so I try to stay kind. My drug of choice today is getting my shit together, man. If I'm moving up in a positive direction every single day, I'm doing okay. I realized a long time ago, like I got high because I wanted to. Then it became a habit, and then it became a necessity. If I didn't have it, I was gonna die, right? So come back full circle, right? I got clean. I had to surrender, get clean through a necessity. Then it became a habit. Now I live clean. We live clean because we want to, man. Because we want to. That is a whole different way to think about things than like, fuck, here we go again. Another day. I just want to get to where I can sleep and get up tomorrow and not be worrying about it. Bro, I actually have feelings and I feel things, and I'm able to be kind to people. These spiritual principles that we learn as a result of working these steps, man, is everything. Addiction is an obsession of the mind and an allergy of the body. Have you ever heard that?
Yep.
It's an allergy of the mind, or excuse me, it's a obsession of the mind and an allergy of the body. So we got to connect those two things, man. They're not connected when we come in here. And I think this whole recovery process connects those two things one day at a time, man. My goal is not to be better than anybody else, it's just to be better than who I was. It's about looking inwards to be able to navigate those setbacks and relapses, and being able to remain humble, right? If you go back out, there's no shame in going out. Look, people go out all the time. Just get your ass right back. Just get your ass right back. You'll clear right out. Like the longer you stay out, the harder it is going to give you to get yourself back into here, and to lick those wounds and get back in here and show face again. And so the people that do, I get an enormous amount of strength from those people that come back, 4 or 5 years clean, and then they can't say anything but, hey, I've got 3 days clean, and they're crying, and then the whole room breaks into tears. It's because we love them, you know, and people become very special to us in this program. And it's really not about the people of this program, it's the program itself. Like, don't put too much stock in the people of this program until you find your people. Pick and choose wisely on that, because you can get caught up in some of their bullshit, people pleasing and stuff like that. But put your stock in the program. This program will not let you down, Milan. As you know, if you lean on this program, your higher power, your sponsor, your tight network in this program, and you adapt your life to the program and not try to adapt the program to your life, you're going to be okay in this program. Because what does it say on page 59 of the basic text? We've never seen a person live the Narcotics Anonymous program relapse, close quote. So that's what I do, is I live this program, man, with you. I love you.
Okay, I got a question for you.
Good.
My relationship with my God, of my understanding, required that I persevere. I had to keep praying through the times when I didn't feel anything. It took a long time for it to become natural to me. Being willing to keep trying when it feels hard or when it doesn't feel like anything at all is an act of faith. Have you had to persevere in praying to grow your faith? Question mark.
Oh yes, man. And we started off this earlier talking about prayer.
Mm.
Push, push, push. Pray until something happens.
Mm.
I was told that a long time ago. Pray until something happens. Um, I was even told that. I told this story the other day, man. When if you don't know how to pray, you don't know what prayer is. Let's say you're in rehab or something and you're listening in. Get on your hands, put your shoes and your cigarettes under your bed as far as you can. And when you get on your hands and knees to go retrieve your cigarettes and your shoes, pray. Pray to God. And I actually did that. It was a kind of a weird, corny thing. And I actually did that. And it was the start of me as a person trying to get clean, trying to find whatever the hell it is that I'm looking for, because it says in our basic text that we are all spiritual beings. We're all born spiritual beings. What does that mean? We're looking for something spiritual to tap into, or that's the word that defines that feeling that we're looking for, right? And so prayer is everything to me, man. I knew how to pray. I just didn't understand the power of prayer. um Prayer allows me, praying for yourself is such an unconditionally loving act. One of the most unconditionally loving things you can do for yourself, Milan, is to pray for yourself. We talk about this all sometimes too, that one of the most unconditionally loving things you can do for somebody without even having to really put effort into it, like you don't have to go over there and cut your neighbor's grass. Pray for him. You know what I mean? If that guy's an asshole, you don't have to go over there and like be Mr. like badass neighbor. Just pray for that dude. And that is one of the most unconditionally loving things that you can do for that man or woman. And then I guarantee, whether your perspective changes on what you see over there, or it changes for them, your life changes when you see shit like that happen, man. It's those feelings that we can't, it's the unexplainable stuff that I lean into today, man. When I pray for somebody, and I do what my sponsor says. So when he tells me to pray for somebody uncomfortably, we did it at the beginning. And now I do it just to be like, is it going to work again? Is it going to work again? And it does every time, man, because it's what we make it. When we pray, we're either going to get the answer one way or another naturally. And to be able to lean into that today and know that like he's talking back one way or another. And like, if I don't, if I don't get through that struggle, and I don't get the outcome that I want, that wasn't the outcome that he had in store for me. I'm all right with that, man. I'm not gonna beat myself up for it. I'm just trying a new way of life. Don't get down on yourself. If you're just trying new things, as long as you're tapped into God, man, like be okay with the outcome. Because that's where he needs you to be. You wouldn't be there if that weren't the case. And so I'm grateful for all of my challenges that I go through. And a lot of times, look, we focus on all these problems we have in our lives. A lot of times the problem ain't even the fucking problem. The problem is our over analyzing, our overthinking in our brains, which are scrambled. It's the overthinking about that problem, which is the fucking problem itself. Ain't it? Does that make sense? It's usually not even
Yep.
the problem. It's we can't handle it, or how we're going to do it, or we're going to get denied, that fear of denial and all that stuff. And
It's our expectations. Like our anxiety is based on us having expectations of like our simulations of the future.
yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, yeah, absolutely, man. Absolutely. So yeah, that's kind of my answer, man. The same courage that it takes you to leave like all this shit in recovery is going to be the same way courage that you're going to need, that's going to find your way into your new life. So you got to stay courageous. And the real flex in this thing is trying to heal yourself without becoming the people that traumatized you, right? Because that's why we're here. So that's all we know. So we're trying to heal from that. And not having those traits in your life going forward, um, is where the real flex comes in. So the
Nice.
strength we gain from the madness we survive. I love you, man.
Boom. And have I had to persevere in praying to grow my faith? Absolutely. I really, I've told the story of my higher power being the universal energy where my music comes from lots of times. And I really was only on the reception side of it. So I had no avenue where I talked with it in any kind of dialogue. And, prayer's a little bit of a conversation with your higher power, and, generally one sided, except for probably some special moments. But, for me, it was, I had like, when you said, oh, I knew how to pray, I had no clue how to pray because I think that everything had come from a self-centered point of view before. I want this. I want, even if I want this for someone else, that's still like just a fine example of self-will,
Yeah.
and so I get a little bit confused now when somebody's like, pray for them, because by definition, I should really only be able to pray that they live inside God's will.
Well,
Like,
that's what we're doing. That's what
no,
you're
but I
doing.
mean, like when someone's sick or something, somebody's like, pray for my sister. And it's like, well, I pray for your sister that anything happens that's supposed to happen for her.
Yeah.
Like, like
Yeah.
it's kind of like most people would be like, you don't really care too much. But it's like, no, but it's like I'm starting to understand that I can't be the puppeteer and neither can you. And whatever's going to happen with your sister is going to happen. So I just pray that she has acceptance for what comes her way.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it's really tough. And my praying has really started to change the last 3 months. And I see it as my pathway to growing my surrender into helping take away my defects and my shortcomings. So but there's lots of days that I have to persevere through it where I'm not necessarily having any kind of result because there's days where I'm just like setting myself up to be a really shitty vessel for God's will. And when I'm in those positions, I just am praying to help, for some freedom from that. And
Yeah.
really that's it for me on that question. Do you got a question, Andrew?
Yeah. So, a lot of so we hit a lot of challenges, right? Instead of focusing on what you don't want, focus on what you do want, right? We hit a lot of challenges in recovery. Perseverance comes into these challenges, right? How has perseverance helped you get through some of these challenges in recovery, man? And now look, you're getting to the point where, and I don't know, do you? And it's not really a specific fellowship. You're bisexual, right?
Yeah, I'm in fact, it's like I really believe in the, living by the spiritual principles. I feel like I'm more than bisexual. There's so like I hear of
Sure.
different things all the time, and I'm like, I could be codependent. I could have a sex addiction. I'm like, cocaine used to be a thing too. Like I got, the only thing that I don't need is marijuana anonymous. Like that
Yeah,
one,
yeah,
that
yeah,
one I solved on my own, no problems.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So,
Yeah.
but how has perseverance helped you reframe your challenges in that and early recovery, man?
Well, it's like never, 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 ever, ever, never, never give up. You know, like the surest thing is like when someone says, "Oh yeah, it's a simple program. You just got to change everything," and it's like you do, or I did. Like I really had to change everything. And if I didn't have perseverance, there were so many places where I could have been like, man, I've only come this far and there's like all this left to go and I'm not getting anywhere. Without perseverance, I would have that defeatist attitude.
Yes.
And for me, it really is that I've got to just understand that I can, like this is where step 10 is like, man, anybody out there who's like loity-doiting on their steps or taking their time, start doing an inventory every day, regardless of if you've done your step 4. Because I think if you don't, you're going to falter because what what the step 10 does is it also allows you to see where you've come from. And that can help you envision that, that there is something worth staying in the program for. Now, we all have days where we're like, man, are we better off than we were? And then I'm like, whoa, I'm straight without compulsion to use. Big win. Oh, I'm actually like communicating with family members on a regular basis and not lying to them. Oh, well, just wait. Like, I'm trying to address their needs as important as mine. Oh, I'm trying to do service to take care of other people. But without doing like an inventory, it's real easy to just stack up all the stuff I've done wrong in a day. Like it really needs to be like a accounting balance sheet where your assets and your liabilities or your income and your expenses, and so yeah, I think that was
I'm
good.
sorry, my dog is going fucking nuts, and I'm losing my mind. She's so I'm trying to like.
Okay, you need to take her out.
No, I don't know what. So no, can you hear her really loud?
No, I can't hear her at all. I just like
Then don't worry. Oh, I thought you could hear it really loud because I've heard
yeah,
it on the past podcast. All right, cool. So we're framing. So instead of focusing on what we don't want, I got to
yeah,
focus on what I do want out of recovery in life,
yeah.
right? And so that's where I'm at with it, which can help maintain most motivation and perseverance. I gotta understand what I do want out of this thing, not what got me here. Like, yeah, that like all that shit's great, but I gotta focus on what's gonna get me out of this thing. And so what do I do, man? As I seek support, cultivating the positive mindset we hit on, but having a nurturing a supportive relationship group, right, and connecting with the recovery community, which is what we're doing right here, Milan. We're doing this right. We're connecting with the recovery community in one way or another. If you want to be tapped into this, we are extremely accessible. And it's about hearing the message. It's about hearing something that can get us out of our
Or
own
trying to
heads,
decipher the message.
right? And being able to provide encouragement and support, which not only makes it easier for you to persevere, it makes them somebody else for them easier. There's a roadmap now, right? If you come in here and you share honestly, you say, hey, this is how I got through the death of my loved one and all that, and you give that roadmap, somebody can go, okay, all right, I can do that shit too. I can do it too. I can do it too. And it's not, a sign of weakness to seek support when you need support, to persevere through something. Don't shut down in the eye of adversity. Don't shut down when something comes really hard across your table. Go seek support from your support network. That's why it's so important that we build a support network that we can trust, that has the same mindset that we do. Stay away from those old playmates, playgrounds, and playthings, Milan. Right? I was proud as shit of you for going down to Mexico. I didn't know that you had been there a bunch of times in your active addiction, and that you went back clean. Like when I realized that, I was like scared for you. And you went down there and you handled that shit. You not only handled it, you got a whole recovery group down there now. You started a meeting. I'm like, my man's down there in Sayulita, Mexico, but I'm like, hey, he's never been down there. So, but then no, you've been down there like 9 times before. And not only that, you didn't used to not wake up next to your wife every morning. You
Yeah,
actually woke up next to your wife while you were there, man. And I'm sitting here
every
going,
single
I'm
morning.
like mind blown going, and all the little spots, obviously, because if you didn't wake up next to mama every time until now, and you are now, you're a changed dude, man. And it's hard to do that away from home.
Yeah, the veil between light and darkness, as Tom said, is very thin down there.
Bro, I'm proud of you, man. I'm like I'm super proud of you. And it gives me a hope shot because look, in a way, when you asked me to go down there, I was scared. I was scared. I was scared for not only and just just my initial reaction. I knew I couldn't get out of work because it was too late anyways.
I would have dragged you right into the recovery
I
family
know.
there.
No, it would have been great. It would have been
Yeah.
amazing. We might not have left.
They do need an optical store in that town.
Bro, I could run that shit, man. I can run that shit. I'll be selling Meta Ray Bans for the first time ever down there. We had the first Meta Ray Bans, but yeah, man, I was able to channel my insecurities and my lack of perseverance and something like that because I'm getting ready to travel to Louisville here in a week too, right?
Hmm.
But you went down to Mexico, man, a party town. You're not even 2 years clean yet, and you've been there before, and you were fucked up every other time there. And for you to cut like thank you, thank you for doing that and showing me that that's possible, that I can go to another country. And
You either focus on recovery or you focus on a relapse.
look, if you're looking for reasons why it's going to work, you're going to find them. If you're looking for
Mhm.
reasons why it's not going to work, you're going to find them.
Yeah,
Right. And,
absolutely.
and that's what you did. And so it shows that, we had a recovery on worldwide. You can go anywhere in this world and recover. And I hear this constant, uh, I hear this consistent message with people who either travel or have traveled or do a lot of traveling for work. There's a consistent message of them looking into what's going on in terms of recovery in that area before they go.
Hmm.
I think that's important in terms of like a preventive maintenance program.
Yeah,
Relapse preventive maintenance program is look. I don't care. Don't just go to a place.
yeah. No,
Go
no.
to go. Don't just go to a place
Buy
and then go. Now
insurance
I'm gonna figure
before
it
you
out.
go.
Buy insurance before you go, man.
Five countries we've had of people on this podcast now.
We are worldwide podcasters, man. Hey, it look, this disease is not, it doesn't like discriminate. But
No.
look, that's why our diversity is our strength. It's the
Hmm.
symbol, man. Our diversity is our strength. We don't care what color you are, lack of color, religion, no religion. We accept everybody here. And that's why we are the fastest growing 12-step program in the world today, man, because we accept everybody. Come as you are, but don't stay as you are. We'll make suggestions and then maybe get a little bit better for yourself and for your loved one. Get your life back, man. Do some steps. Don't come into a
Boom.
12-step program and don't work the 12 steps or read the literature, though, because you're crazy, man. I don't know what you're doing. What are we doing? What are we doing?
We're getting free. That's what we're doing. I got one more
Freedom.
question here. You ready for it?
Yes, sir. And
Okay.
hey, I love you. I love you, man. Because
I'll be too.
yeah.
It's been great today. We both have said on this podcast, clean time really is proof of the program working for the newcomer. And that's what it counts for. You know, we can be an example of strength and perseverance for others, and we can look to others for hope as well. Was this the case for you when you first came in?
Absolutely. Absolutely. This is a great question. It's a great question to end on. When I came in here, when I see like my sponsor who's 35 years clean in my home group, not saying a word for nights and nights at a time, bro, I know for a fact I'm in the right place. Just people being in these meetings with that clean time, sharing when they needed, it seemed like they would come in and share as needed, guided by their higher power, whatever. And when I would see people thriving, man, and that they were 35 years clean, but they were enthusiastic about this program, and they were coming in and just chopping it up in a respectful way, and there was no angles. Um, it showed me, man, that like if I want to stay clean the rest of my life, I know I'm in the right place. I know I'm in the right place. These people are up here not to run their mouth. My sponsor is a world circuit speaker, man. They have him speak at the world conventions and fly him all over the place. And he doesn't when he speaks, he doesn't even put his name on flyers. Like, and everybody knows him, and he just doesn't. He's not about the it's not about the glitz and the glamour.
Accolades.
It's not about any accolades, man. It's about him staying clean and being of service to his community, inside and outside of NA. And it's about keeping people alive and carrying the message, man, and not the mess. It's about being able to come in here and man, one day at a time, to turn that into like 40 years of clean living, man, like that. And we don't need drugs to get off this thing, man. We don't need drugs to get off drugs, man. We can talk ourselves out of this thing, Milan. What are we doing right now? We're talking ourselves out of our disease just for this moment right now.
Mhm.
Because like we know, man, with this thing has us flat out convinced we don't have it, bro. So we're not stupid people, and we don't have a moral deficiency. We're not dumb. We're not dumbass people, man. We're actually really, really smart, really, really magical motherfuckers, as Brandy would say. You know, we paint rocks today. We don't smoke them. You know what I mean? It's a way different thing than what we do now. You know, but you know, I love this program. I love what it's given me. It's given me 3 years of, you know, clean time. Like if you woke up before me today, you have more clean time than me. Than me.
And I have
Clean
more clay time than you every
every
single
day,
day.
every day, every day, every day. But you know,
But you go
uh,
to bed with more clean time than me.
but I go to bed with more clean time than you. So like I've got 3 years clean, and it doesn't mean shit to me personally, but it means absolutely everything because I love my family, man. I love the people around me. It has given them an ability to sleep for 3 years without worrying about my ass coming up dead or like in jail or something, right? And that's priceless to me, man. I cannot put a price on peace of mind for my family and loved ones. Being able to be in a position to come to the table with something to offer other than, hey, I'm not doing, you know, hey, I need money, or like, hey, I'm not high today. Like having some kind of skin in the game, man. Like to be able to show up, to be able to put my clothes on and show up when when I say I'm gonna show up. And they know what to expect out of me today, man. In early recovery, I would be in all these meetings, and then my family would be like, why are you like, you go to a lot of meetings, like you're in a lot of meetings. They would be like, that's kind of weird, like, are you gonna have to do that the rest of your life? And I'm like, first off, I don't know. And do you want me high, or do you want me clean? Like, do you want me alive, or do you want me dead? And now the it has switched to where like there's certain times where if I'm sleeping or I'm not in a meeting, I will get woken up by my loved ones like, bro, what the fuck are you doing? You're not in your meeting. Why are you not in a meeting right now? You haven't missed a meeting. I haven't seen you not on a meeting in this time frame in 3 years. What are you doing? Are you okay? And that's a great thing. That's a great that leaves in the pool problems today, man. That's my leaves in the pool problems today, man. And so, man, I can navigate setbacks today without being a fucking dick. You know, I can make up for my mistakes promptly when I make a mistake. Um, but I still get outside of myself too, man. You know, if you want to see somebody's real character, see how they treat somebody who can't do anything for them. You want to see somebody's real character, see how they treat somebody that has nothing that to offer that person.
See who you are when no one's around.
See what you do. Do you pick up that piece of trash when no one's looking? That goodwill piece, right? Do you step over it and put a piece of trash on top of it, or you pick it up and throw it in the trash bin right there because you know who has to pick it up, man? Because you know what? God's watching, man. Always watching. Your higher power is always watching. And it gets a little easier to pray and a little easier to stay connected with him when you don't feel like you're running from him because of your decisions that you made that day. You know, it's
It
like a
shows a
door.
lack of surrender, man, if you don't do the same things when people aren't looking.
This word is getting, it's like
It's
I,
everything now.
I'm
I'm sorry.
love, but like I need a soul of
We are
surrender.
surrender.
Like I just need to be covered in a blanket quilt of surrenderness, or else we don't, like, why are we even talking about the acceptance, the love, the honesty? It doesn't even start. If you don't
No
surrender,
surrender.
nothing.
There's like running on a muddy field with no cleats.
Yes, yes, yes. That is true. That is true. Oh my God, man. I love you, man. I love you, love you, love you. Are we gonna keep this thing a little shorter today? Or are we gonna keep rolling? What do you want to
I'm
do?
just going to answer this question,
Oh,
and then I think,
I'm so sorry, buddy.
oh, it's okay. We get, dude,
I was
it's
getting
pretty
lost in the
excited.
sauce, man.
I
This is
know,
so fun.
yeah. So, you know, showed up at my treatment center, and one of the, like, there's two counselors that worked there, the manager and the other one. And I believe it was on the Sunday, so 2 days of me being there, and we went to her 16th birthday cake. And man, the love in that room and the quantifiable clean time was massive. Like somebody added up all the years in that room, and they were outside and they're like, oh, I think there was 1,000 years in there today. And you know, like, man, you want to talk about, first of all, like, proof and like hope, but like, you know, the strength to persevere. I'm watching these people, and they're still telling the dirt of their stories. You know, they really did a great job sharing for Shirley, but also for the newcomer of where they had come from to where they got to. Like it wasn't like their life was awesome when they got in the program. They were like living on the streets and had great jobs and grandchildren and, you know, all these loving friends. Like the love that was in that room for Shirley. Man, like that only happened because of their perseverance, you know, and uh, all I can say is, you know, not persevering, not being very strict with your program. I've never had somebody come up and say, you know, I was in the program for 5 years, but then I just decided the last 30 that I didn't need any of it. I never get these success stories of people who don't persevere. Like
Yeah.
for me, I think that's the biggest thing is that, you know, like they say, stick with the winners, and the winners being the people that are still straight. The only people I know that are still straight are people who do persevere. I
Yeah.
don't know a single one who said, I kind of gave it up and never paid attention and quit meetings, screw sponsoring and blah, blah, blah. You know, like, I mean, I was at that lady's 49th year. She was at the first meeting I was at in Silita, and she was at the last meeting I was at in Silita. What does that
That's
say?
crazy as fuck.
Yeah,
That's crazy as
like
shit, man.
49 years, man. Like that lady had been straight since she was 18 and she was
Bro,
77 or
wow.
67. Anyway, like,
Beautiful.
but you know, like the only reason she got there was because she persevered. And certainly, you know, smart enough to admit it. So I think that's it, man. I think
That's
I'm
beautiful,
good.
man.
I
Dude,
think we knocked it out of the park on
I,
fucking love, surrender, perseverance, and acceptance today.
bro, surrender is gonna starting to leak in, baby.
Ooh, I think we need to do a series on surrender.
I
I
think
think
we
we gotta.
should, bro. I think it's a natural. We
I think,
absolutely,
yep. I think we gotta like start a surrender team.
yeah,
I
we
think
should do
Tom
that.
should be on. I think Tom should be
Maybe
on that.
Tom, and maybe Mikey. Can we
Yeah.
get Mikey?
Ooh, boom.
Let's do it. I've already been talking to Mikey about the next one we're gonna do. So
Okay.
let's set that
Cool.
up.
Okay.
If
And guess
anything,
what?
if Tom can be there too, we'll talk about it. I love you, man.
I
Hey,
love you.
hey, surrender.
Everybody out there, tune in next episode for more recovery
Love you
fun because we love you. You
Love you
guys.
more.
Please help us help others. If you like what you've seen here today, please subscribe and share this podcast and help us get to 100 followers. We're looking for interaction with our audience. So please email recoveryfreedomrising@gmail.com or contact Milan South Okanagan Starcic on Facebook with questions, topic suggestions, or just comments. We'd love to hear from you.